Find us on the web at snuckology.42web.io. There you can find our latest episode, or you can support the podcast by following our affiliate links at the top of the page. You can even buy some awesome Smacking Off merchandise. Find us on the web at snuckology.42web.io. There you can find our latest episode, or you can support the podcast by following our affiliate links at the top of the page. You can even buy some awesome Smacking Off merchandise. Again, that is snuckology.42web.io.
We're here at Commonwealth Stadium, representing for the Kentucky Wildcats, right against the Georgia Bulldogs, right? And I'm live here, and there's fun and excitement going on. I know you can see that. This is Smacking Off, the podcast.
Hi, we're Fiverr, a global marketplace connecting individuals and businesses with freelancers offering thousands of digital services. Graphic design, web development, video editing, e-commerce marketing. You name it, there's a professional freelancer ready to make it happen. Filter your search by the service needed, budget, timeline, and boom! Fiverr provides a list of talented freelancers to meet your specific needs. Always know what you'll pay up front. No hourly rates, just project-based pricing. And because payment isn't released until you approve the work, you can rest assured that you'll be satisfied with the quality and get exactly what you want. Our support team is always available to answer questions or offer assistance when you need it. With the whole world of freelance talent at your fingertips, what might you achieve? Join today and find out. Fiverr. It starts here.
What's up?
Now Holloway, the leading rusher for Oklahoma, almost 5.5 a carry, has -8 on 5 rushes. Home run ball. Jackson has it.
And now,
Smacking Off the podcast.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Ed?
Good. And Don Crickey was a great football announcer.
Hell yeah.
Ed, are we going to hear you listening to the debates in the background?
Is that what you hear now?
Do you have the debates on?
I have the volume down almost to zero.
Well, I'll tell you what. You will be our boots on the ground there. You let us know if Biden falls out or if Trump.
I think Trump's going to wipe the floor with him.
Well, just let us know if Trump leaves the room or Biden falls out.
I don't know why they don't put the shit on pay-per-view. You could clear the national debt.
That's why I had to leave the room.
Sean, are you there?
Yep, we're here.
All right, and there is no handshake.
No handshake. All right.
No.
Yeah, this is like, what was the Tyson grudge match? Help us out, Sean.
Holyfield?
Oh, yeah. Maybe the second one for sure.
Second one for sure.
So,
that fight was an earful.
Hopefully, Hopefully we'll get to see somebody bite somebody's ear off tonight, right?
Then,
yeah, I'd like that.
The other one was the dude, you would know, Doug, the guy that beat Mike out for the last spot on the U.S. boxing team in '84 that 3 years later he got his revenge.
You know what? I'm like you. I remember the guy, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
The Truth Williams?
It might have been.
Carl the Truth?
Yeah.
I know he fought him again.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
They used to make fun of him on Saturday Night Live, and they had a character named Carl the Tooth Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Or was that on Living Color? Shit. It was one of them.
Now, guys, I hate it that boxing, if you want to see anything significant, you got to go to pay-per-view, man. I think it's ruined the sport. I mean, nobody's seeing any boxing, so therefore it ain't as huge as it was when I was a kid. It was massive. It dominated television when I was a kid, man.
I'm listening.
Oh yeah.
Depends on the fight, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, they have the biggest fights in the world. I mean, imagine if the Thriller Manila would have been on pay-per-view instead of being broadcast for free across the whole world. I mean, it's a huge difference. So, hell yeah. So what's up, Nikki?
Not much. I had to leave my room because James has it on. He gets a little, intense with this debate.
Does anybody want to talk about the greatest fight? I got a greatest fight I ever saw.
Let's do it.
I got Aaron Pryor against Alexis Arguello.
Oh, I remember that fight. Oh, Jesus Christ, that was unbelievable. Now, see, I think would rival that one would be Hagler Hearns, even though it was only a 3-round affair.
Oh, I mean, Hagler and what was that? Sugar Ray Leonard was pretty damn good.
That was not the most action-packed fight.
No, Sugar Ray monkeyed around with him and made him miss, and there wasn't a lot of heavy exchanges. But
Leonard Hearns was great because Hearns had him until the 14th round.
Well, that's the way Hearns always was. Hearns always had everybody until he didn't. And one punch would usually. The thing about Hearns is he couldn't hide when he was hurt, and you don't want to get hurt against Hagler and still be standing, because if you are, then you're going down.
He had Hagler hurt.
He did. He had him cut.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we got to talk about this.
The trivia answer we were looking for was Henry Tillman.
Oh yeah. And
Tillman,
he fought him
Tillman
again too.
defeated Tyson twice as amateurs. One of those defeats cost Tyson a roster spot on the U.S. Olympic team in '84. Years later, he was the first fight for Tyson after Tyson's loss to Buster Douglas, and Tyson knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah, it was. Well, that was right before he went to prison, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so I guess we got to talk about these Vols at some point. God damn it.
Rocky Top.
Y'all go ahead. I got to go to the bathroom.
So do I. I'll be right back.
Sean knows about these Vols.
Having watched them most of the regular season, and then definitely during the SEC tournament and the first round, they just looked like the team with the killer edge. And I had picked both Tennessee and Texas A&M to be there in the final, and they were. And it was a great grudge match. Tennessee started down 0-1 and was in the second game was down 1-0. I think going into the seventh inning, it was close enough to being lights out for them. So
the second game was a pitching duel.
Yeah, great resiliency by Tony V and his roster
That's my man.
Scrape out those 3 runs there late in the game 2, and then finish the job in game 3 in a very, very good College World Series. Something we haven't had in a while.
No, and to have Coach V take out, his, who he coached under at TCU for years.
Talking Schlossnagel?
Yep. And then him jumping ship now to Texas.
Yeah, that's talking about insult to injury, huh?
Like, how many Texas schools do you want to coach at?
I mean, that's like... that's just as bad as going from Alabama to Auburn or vice versa.
Absolutely.
It is. Well, you went from TCU, which out of those 3 for the probably past 20 years was the best in baseball when it came to making it to the College World Series, other than Texas. But I guess if you're a Texas guy, that's your dream job. They're the greatest of greats.
Well, he definitely climbed that Texas ladder all the way to the top, right?
You did.
But see, I was real happy to hear it because I've been waiting. I'm always a game to watch Texas A&M get fucked around by a coach or something because of the whole. I don't know if you remember this, but Dennis Franchione Texas A&M grabbed him from Alabama at a point when Alabama was going on probation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they thought they were getting. See, Alabama got Bear Bryant from Texas A&M, so
Yeah, because he didn't do anything.
they had been waiting for who? Bryant?
By way of
No,
Kentucky, though.
Franchione.
Oh no, yeah, he did. He lost 77-0 to Oklahoma.
Is that bad? Should I have not done that?
What'd you do?
Lose 77-0 to Oklahoma.
No, it was. He was just warming up.
And then
Yeah.
after what their fans pulled against the Gators coach, Sully, we lost a bat boy not long ago. And they were calling him some horrible names. I had a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, they weren't good. The fans weren't gracious at all for Texas A&M. Nikki, I agree with you. It was a bad class. You'd expect it out of Tennessee fans, but they
got more money than God over there, and they're trying to figure out when this money's going to translate into championships in football, because it never really has.
It's not going to. Or baseball or anything.
To the point of Schlossnagle leaving, the Longhorns must have been a dream job, because A&M can pay. If Texas says it's this number, A&M can equally say that number. So it hadn't not have been money that made him want to go to Austin. It's not money, because A&M's got plenty of money.
He's got to feel like he's got a better shot at Texas to do what he wants to do.
NIL alone.
Well, no, I mean, A&M's got plenty of NIL as well.
Yeah.
I know, but how they set theirs up at Texas, it's
in baseball. I will give you that Texas is a bigger name brand. I think they have the most appearances in Omaha
and wins.
They don't have the most wins. They do not. They are not even. Are you talking individual game wins or championships?
Championships.
No, they're not even close to the top in championships.
But who's number one? They were number one for years.
No, USC has held that number from the 70s on. USC has 12 national championships in men's baseball.
Yeah, just none recently, but yeah,
none
they were
recently.
great.
Yeah.
How many does Miami have?
4.
And then you got LSU
0.
5 or 6.
LSU is second with 7.
Right, that's what I thought.
Miami got my boy Max.
Hallelujah.
He committed
makes
to
Bob
him
happy.
yesterday.
No, it's about thong bitches. I hate to see this, Nikki, but you got to let him go. You got to understand what really went on there. They took him to South Beach. They seen the thong beach. And once you've seen that, you're not going nowhere else, right? That's where you're going to be when you're 19 years old, is on that thong beach. I guarantee he's going to get in the shape of his life, play Miami football, so that he can walk down that thong beach. It's just once you see it changed my son's life. All right, I just can't tell you. I don't want to sound misogynistic, but it's a fact, right? You got a guy at the prime of his life, all these hormones, and they took him to that thong beach. Boom, you're solid, just like that.
It's great weather down there and a great school. Miami is a great school down there in Coral Gables.
Oh yeah, it's a private school. A lot of people don't realize Miami's a private school.
Private school, very tough to get into.
Yeah, you get some top class.
I didn't know it was that good of a school.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Well,
I didn't know there were any good colleges in Florida, because that's where I went.
Surely Jimmy Johnson had to bend a few rules to get players in there, right?
Yeah, they talk about that in the U1, part 1, which is him going at it with the president of the university, Tad Foote, Tad Foote's dream was to make the University of Miami the Harvard of the South. And so, yeah, he had, but to Johnson's credit, once he got those guys on, and this is the old, back then he had the Prop 48. Once he got those guys on, he was on them to, because he was the first person in his family to get a college degree. And so in fact, during his tenure at Miami, Jimmy Johnson's players' graduation rate, not only did it go up, but it was above 90%, I think, his last 2-3 years there. So he imbued upon his players the importance of getting their degree.
I didn't run Nikki off with by telling her boy got signed by because he went.
I think you did, Bob, because she. Oh no, she's back. Let's add her back. You want to? We should add her back.
I'm sorry, because I don't want to offend Nikki.
All right, so we had come up with the theory that Bob ran you off by celebrating the fact that Miami got your boy.
No, I'm happy for him. He fit down there. He did.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it was either in Florida, it was either there or Florida State, and I would rather be at Miami.
Oh yeah.
So shout out to Max Buchanan. He's gonna tear it up next year.
Hell yeah. We like that. So what positions do you think they're gonna have him at?
I think offensive line most of the time, but he's played defense. He's played all over. I mean, he's huge.
Well, the question remains: Cristobal, so far he can recruit. Question is, can he coach him up and get results?
Oh yeah.
So far, not looking good.
No.
So what do you think
I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose in Gainesville in week 1. To be honest with you.
Yeah, they are.
Nikki already knew that.
Nikki already knew that, but I mean, I think the game is close to a pick'em by the so-called experts. Ed could probably tell us more about that, but I just think it's going to be too hard.
They got a legit quarterback.
Yeah, I just find it hard.
When you say you mean Miami?
Yep, Cam
Rising from Washington State.
No,
Yeah.
Cam Rising is still at Utah, but it's Cam from Washington State. That's correct.
The other Cam.
But we still have Graham Mertz and Langley coming in. That dude.
Cam didn't go there to sit.
No.
Cam Ward.
But it doesn't mean that he's going to
I get the two mixed up.
Yeah. You can't play when you're on your back.
Now, Mertz was starting to look a little bit more efficient by the end of last year. I thought.
And I think
Ward's going to start. He's got the dual threat capabilities. I mean, he's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he definitely will. But can Cristobal close a deal in a big game? You know, and I know they beat A&M in their building last year. But
you mean like when you got to take a knee to beat Georgia Tech?
Right, exactly. How do you screw that up?
Did you hear about the guy? He had a seven leg parlay and he won.
Brutal.
$45,000.
Ouch.
Damn.
Ouch.
And he's on Amazon spending that shit like with a minute to go.
He's already calling his car dealership.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Miami went into A&M last year and won, but A&M was all sorts of disorganized.
Yeah.
Had so many, and it wasn't like they beat them to a pulp. It was a pretty close, ugly, low-scoring game. But I think Gainesville, Ben Hill Griffin's going to be rocking. And I just don't think Miami's going to have enough that opening game to get it done there. I just don't trust them. They got to prove it before I believe them.
I agree with Sean 100%. Florida tends to.
They couldn't beat us during a losing season.
Right.
They're gonna beat us when we're actually growing.
I mean, the swamp is still the swamp. It's a tough place to win.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about UCF than I am Miami.
Yeah, I think that's more of a trickier game than because you'll be ready for Miami for sure.
Yep.
And in 4 days, we can say football next month.
That's right. It's coming. I mean, SEC, media day should be here real soon.
I mean, but by the time the Hall of Fame game rolls around, you can put my family in uniform. I'm going to watch.
Yeah. That Hall of Fame game is the worst teaser ever.
It's symbolic.
They kind of play hard for a little while because it's they want to honor the guys the next day that are going to be enshrined, into Canton. And then they go back to regular preseason and it's all right, maybe one series, maybe two. And then, they got the baseball cap on and they're drinking Gatorade.
Just look at the Hall of Fame game like it's methadone.
It really, it's just your quick little to get you through that last finishing 30 days before it really starts. Yeah.
Because July is the worst month of the year for sports,
it really is.
Except for the Open.
I would say you have Wimbledon, the Open, and I guess
baseball All-Star game.
And baseball All-Star game, yeah.
But you know what though? In the last, I'd say 5 or 6 years, people watch the home run derby. They could care less about the game.
Last year, I was at the game. I was at both last year in Seattle. Both were electric atmospheres, and the game did not let us down last year.
Oh no, it hasn't for the last few years.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks is it doesn't have any meaning anymore when it comes to like home field advantage and stuff. But I don't know. It'll never.
I was kind of bummed. I thought, even though I think most of us watched it, we've been off, all of us doing our own thing. It's summertime, so we've been off the last 2 weeks. But you had the Heritage game at Rickwood Field between the Cardinals and Giants in their throwback uniform, and I watched it. And it was great, but I think they did a disservice by doing it when you still had the NBA Finals and NHL Stanley Cup Finals on. They should have moved it to the end of July, so it's its own standalone event. You'd get everyone.
Yeah, I think that makes sense
to watch it. Similar to a couple of years ago when you had the Field of Dreams game between the Yankees and the White Sox, which was a incredible. It was the only thing on that night, and then the game itself delivered. I think the White Sox won with a walk-off, like 9-8 or something. So I think they could have.
Sad losing Willie.
Yeah, no, it's very. But I think they did it. They did the broadcast a disservice by not moving it to its own night in July, where there's nothing on, and everybody would be tuned in. So. I mean, I tune in because I love baseball. If there's people that wanted to watch hockey or basketball, they were probably watching that.
We had hockey on. Well, we had both on. Both, which we didn't do very good in either this year. But, I mean, we made it, but still, we got our asses kicked.
So, a little update. So, the debate looks civil. Not like it's not like a love fest, but they're not killing each other.
That was Ed Scrivener with the smacking off political commentary update.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
So Biden coherent.
I have my Trump 2024 hat right here.
He's our well, he's no longer a nonpartisan reporter in the field.
I'm trying to watch.
But yeah, I mean the College World Series was just awesome. And that's another thing. I think they would be wise to move it, move the tournament 1 week to the right to get it away from as much as possible, the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, because I had a number of people. Oh, are you watching this? And it was either the NBA or the the NHL. I said no, I'm watching the College World Series, and then some of the start times on the weekends. I felt bad for people on the East Coast or Central Time Zone. Some of those games ended at 1 or 2 in the morning.
Florida A&M got pushed back until the 10. It didn't start until
first
10.
First pitch was 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
Jeez.
they had until 11 to play, so it was 10:35 when they finally threw the first pitch, and it was I stayed up as long as I could, but
I was there. Some of the people that probably wanted to watch that game didn't get to see the end of it because they had to be in bed, and I think
that my unranked Gators making it that far,
hell of a run by Florida, absolutely great run. There were people arguing they shouldn't be in the tournament. Well, I guess they proved them wrong, getting all the way to Omaha.
That's when they get hot. That's when Sully knows how to get these guys ready. We just didn't have the pitching.
Each round was exciting, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from even just Evansville getting to the Super Regional, tiny little Evansville.
We don't have Cinderella stories in baseball, so.
That was like the closest to it, since
I know.
20.
But I
What?
picked Tennessee to win. I
I
picked them at
mean,
the end of the last year to go to the World Series because they were so young and they were good. I know what Coach V can do. I mean, the man is amazing. I mean, I
I
love
didn't.
him. He
I
doesn't. I love
I,
him.
I didn't pick them till after the SEC tournament.
I had them picked about a month and a half in the season, just seeing how complete they were and watching their pitching get
Because
better each game.
to me, it was always a toss up between them and A&M. And eventually, I went with Tennessee because they had just a few more guys in their lineup that could hit for power, and
More.
in tournament play, the home run is such a huge equalizer.
Well, with Tennessee, this World Series, it wasn't their normal guys. Each one of their players had a moment of being hot and hitting a bomb or hitting a triple that they weren't known for during the season. So they really were fired up.
Oh yeah.
I know I learned something about myself with this World Series. So
What was that?
I've always taken a lot of pride in hating the fucking Texas A&M Aggies. I hate them with a passion. And I think I just took my hate for Tennessee for granted. I didn't really think about it a lot. But it only took me a split second when I seen that the World Series was A&M and Tennessee to say "Go Aggies" or "Gig 'em" or whatever the hell they say.
I couldn't.
That must
I
have
don't like
tasted bad coming out of your mouth, Doug.
I can't
Yep.
stand Tennessee, but I love me some Coach V. So I didn't really care about the team. I just wanted to see him. I've followed him since he played. So
Yeah, I definitely don't have any animosity against Tennessee, and A&M is they're weird. So yeah, I was all in on Tennessee to win, and I'm with Nikki. I like Coach V. He's cool.
Allegedly, there is a Highway 6 in Texas, and a long time ago, somebody wrote underneath it, Aggies nothing.
Guys, July. What is great about, I don't know how y'all do your baseball, but I've watched the Reds and listened to them on the radio for many moons through the good and the bad, on and on and on. And the announcers, right, can be very soothing and relaxing. So what you do is like a Sunday afternoon nap with the Reds on during the day. He just will lull you right to sleep. And then you'll wake up periodically throughout the broadcast and see how bad the Reds is doing. And then if they're rallying, you might get excited and catch the whole end of it.
So now, Bob's using baseball as like a insomnia cure. He just puts the Reds game on and off to sleep he goes.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, back in the day, the Big Red was my team. I remember the game 5 against Pittsburgh in Cincinnati. They were down by a run heading to the ninth, and then Bench hit a leadoff game-tying homer, and then the Reds were able to score one more for a walk-off pennant. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a Pirates team too.
It sure was.
The next year they won the World Series with Pops and that bunch, man. That was just a hell of a team.
Manny Sanguillen.
Yeah.
Biggest teeth on the planet.
July is when baseball actually gets good.
Yeah, the run up to the trade deadline for sure. Yeah, I'm thankful I have the MLB TV package because I can tell you out here in the Bay Area, both teams kind of stink. The A's are not very good, and the Giants are not very good. They're both under 500, so it's a tough watch.
Yeah, we just want to know what
you're in. Wait, Sean, you're in the Bay Area?
Yeah.
Where are you?
South Bay, close to San Jose.
I didn't know that. I just assumed you were completely somewhere else, but okay.
Yeah. But I've been to both, the Coliseum and whatever they're calling Pac Bell Park these days.
What is it? It's not Oracle anymore or AT&T.
I think it's Oracle.
Is it still Oracle? I thought they changed it again.
No, I think it's still Oracle. But
that looks like the coolest baseball park.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful venue, great place to see a game. It's just like they're not very good, I mean, they took 2 or 3 from the Cubs this week, but the Cubs stink too. So
It's every other year with them.
it used to be.
Not no more. Like every stock.
So I've been
Especially
watching a
that
lot of
Cavalier
Baltimore.
team, and he destroyed us.
Have you been to Coors Field? That's a really nice park.
I
That's
love
on my to-do. I've got 10 of the 30 knocked out, but that
Okay.
one I have not done.
Coors is one
Camden
of
Yards?
No, so most of the ones I have not done are on the East Coast.
Okay.
Did you go to the old Tiger Stadium?
Old one, no. New one, yeah.
Now, I've never been to the new one, but I've been to the old one, and it was sad for me to go down, and the old Indian Stadium too. So that's the ones I've been to are Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Bob, have you been to the new Pittsburgh or the old Pittsburgh?
Oh, the old Pittsburgh, Three Rivers.
Three Rivers, okay.
Yeah, I was there.
I love that Bob is naming all of the old, what we used to call the concrete donut stadiums.
Oh yeah, they were awful, except for Tiger Stadium was beautiful. Tiger
Stadium was that one had
it was like the Polo Grounds, but huge.
Yeah, I think it had the complete the entire outfield had a second deck of bleachers. Like, most stadiums only have like bleachers without an upper deck. The Tiger Stadium had the upper deck all the way around. The bleachers. Yeah.
So, Sean, I wanted to tell you, your fan club has all streamed in.
Oh, who's that?
Let's see here. Gibbs says that you wear rompers. What the fuck is a romper?
Like a onesie.
Oh, okay. And then it's got. I've worn a onesie before. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah.
Sky Anastasia says he's done his normal, telling you to shut the fuck up.
No,
These guys are.
When Utah wins, a bowl game, that's worth anything, we will. But until then, the feeling is mutual.
They might this year.
We're going to start doing T-shirts for all the characters on the show, and when your fan club comes in and runs their mouth, they're going to get a free T-shirt. A Devine T-shirt.
I guess I better get a fan club.
You need one. You need to do like Sean and just pay a couple guys to come in and say a couple things.
Okay.
And Mike Gibbs knows that we humbled Caleb Williams last fall, made him look pathetic. I think it was 4 turnovers Caleb Williams had in South Bend. So
I remember it.
We were everybody was high on Southern Cal for 1 year, and then just like a fart in the wind, it vanished. I can't wait for SC to be going to places like Minnesota and Wisconsin in November and December. I think that's going to be great.
It'll be special.
They better buy a supply of hot hands for sure.
I don't think they need to be overly concerned about Minnesota, but maybe
I don't know that weather can be pretty fucking bad for some
That's
LA
an
boys.
outdoor stadium in the Twin Cities. They've gotten snow as early as October 5th up there. So you got to go there, and you got to go there in November when it's 10 or 15 degrees. And you just left 80-degree Los Angeles.
And then you got to factor in that fucking gopher that comes up on the screen that watches you kick field goals.
That's right.
Well, that gopher lost his job after Caddyshack stopped filming. So
he had to do something.
What did he do?
He had to go do something after Caddyshack wrapped.
So you you know what we're talking about, Ed?
No.
Okay, so when the opposing team is playing in Minnesota and they go to kick a field goal, Minnesota puts a gopher up on the screen behind the fucking goals that they're trying to kick through, and he shakes and he's like he's bug-eyed and he's watching. And truthfully, kickers don't do quite as well there as they do on the national average.
Wow.
I think that's smart. I like it.
I just assume that the opposing teams are always kicking extra points. So
would love to see Minnesota do great, their history and tradition there with that football program.
Something has changed. You just can't get people to go up there now.
Yeah, I mean, and they've invested in their infrastructure. the new indoor facility they have from, I think the main donator and sponsored name is Cub Foods, along with Land O'Lakes, has built them a Taj Mahal of an athletic facility up there. But for football, it just hasn't clicked, unfortunately. Whereas hockey, the whole state of Minnesota is the state of hockey.
Oh yeah.
So. But if you look at Minnesota's history, they have a fair amount of national championships and
I read
individual
somewhere.
award winners.
I read somewhere that when back in the day when they had their heyday, they did a lot of that with in-state talent, and
Yeah,
so it was
They
a
did.
different game back then. I don't know if you can do that now.
they have a hard time keeping their in-state talent in-state.
Yep.
A lot of programs will go up there and poach players, and it was supposed to change under Fleck with the row the boat, but for that 1 year where I think they got to double-digit wins under Fleck, it's been the sort of the usual, which is 7 or 8 wins, and
Yeah.
in a mediocre one of those, the Independence Bowl or Music City Bowl or the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
And oddly enough, that has been better than the Cornhuskers have been doing.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I have to say, regarding hockey, I didn't know until about 5 years ago there really was a Minnesota State. I just thought it was something they made up on Coach.
Yeah, really? I mean, seriously, there was a Minnesota State?
There is.
But it wasn't. Yeah, but what was the team called on Coach?
Minnesota State.
It was Minnesota.
No. I know, but the nickname, I mean, the Eagles, weren't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what was the real Minnesota State called?
Oh, I don't know.
Let me
Now,
look.
Moorhead State is the Eagles. Now, Moorhead State is in Kentucky, though, but it's the Eagles, the Moorhead State University Eagles. I always wondered about that when I watched Coach, where they actually closet Moorhead State alumni.
They are the Mavericks.
So
Minnesota State University Mankato, the Mavericks.
Imagine being a Moorhead State graduate.
And they've got in the last 4 years, Minnesota State has 2 appearances in the Frozen Four. So it's not just the Gophers that, I mean, they have, I think, 4 programs up there, maybe 5, that are really, really good at men's ice hockey. So,
So I'm curious. Did the writers of Coach just fuck that one up? Because because they had a different nickname for the team and everything. Did they not realize there was a Minnesota State? That's crazy.
Or no,
I think it's just because football, they don't do anything in football. So it was
and they maybe the real Minnesota State wouldn't give them permission to use the mascot name.
Right.
Didn't they just?
I don't think they overlooked it.
Drafted in the top 10.
What's that, Nikki?
Minnesota State, I think, just had a player drafted in the top 10
for the NHL. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good.
And he's on the Olympic team too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you get out. You got Minnesota, the 2 Dakotas, and then not University of Colorado, but University of Denver. Those are hockey behemoths in college
University
hockey.
of Florida won the championship this last year. Okay, in club, but they still won.
I was going to say club hockey.
So I don't know who knows this, and we're not talking about high-level college hockey, and we're obviously not talking about pro hockey, but in terms of, respectable college hockey and level of enthusiasm, and if Doug doesn't know this, I'm going to be disappointed. What's a city in the South where hockey's pretty big?
Huntsville, Alabama, for sure.
There you go.
And I didn't know if that was the correct answer, but
it sure is.
I knew
my son used to. He never played for Huntsville, but he played for the Atlanta Junior Thrashers, and he went to Huntsville on a few occasions. That is absolutely right.
We had
Alabama Huntsville has a
Thoroughblades.
pretty good team.
Are you
Yeah.
sure it's Huntsville? I thought it was Greenbow.
It's Huntsville.
Greenbow.
Lexington had the Thoroughblades.
And Macon, Georgia have the Macon Whoopie. Or are they making bacon now?
For minor league baseball?
It's hockey.
Oh, hi. I would say Macon Bacon's baseball.
No,
Okay,
that's fucking cool.
Macon Whoopie.
Oh, Macon Whoop.
A lot of people don't realize that comes from the old dating game, I believe, in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Jim Lang.
Yeah, the Macon Bacon's arch rival in minor league, or the independent baseball is the Savannah Bananas.
Mm-hmm. They used to be a part of the Sally League, though.
Oh, what about the Charleston Charlies? Do you remember them, Nikki?
I do. They're now the Charleston Power.
Yes.
They're
And Ed mentioned Huntsville. We would be remiss not to talk about the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yeah, Trash Pandas.
Yeah, I would not have known that.
Yep.
Minor league baseball is like an underrated, awesome experience. It really is.
Augusta Green Jackets.
Yes.
The Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
Mm-hmm. The Richmond Flying Squirrels.
Flying Squirrels. Yeah.
The Toledo Mud Hens.
Toledo Mud Hen. Another one in Alabama, the Montgomery Biscuits.
The Montgomery Biscuits. I was trying to come up with that.
And then in Ed's beloved state of Michigan, you have the Lansing Lugnuts.
The Hickory Crawdads.
Did y'all know that Roger Clemens threw for the Lexington Legends?
Did not know that.
For the Sugarland
Skeeters.
Uh-huh.
Big old mosquito on the hat. Love it.
Yeah. I was bummed when Las Vegas changed they were well, now they're the Aviators, but they used to be the Area 51s, and you had an alien on the whoever decided on changing that nickname, find them and flog them for me, because the Area 51s with the weird little alien was a great
definitely a good location for that too.
Right.
They stole their affiliation. Like Augusta, whoever comes in now, it's the Braves. It was the Giants for a year. They're the Green Jackets. You have to keep the name.
Yeah.
Change. You have to be the Augusta Green Jackets.
Yeah. I mean, like in minor league hockey, Fayetteville, North Carolina used to be the Fire Ants, which made sense because if you've ever been in the woods in that area, there are so many fire ants everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so they had this huge fire ant, but he had a hockey helmet on and he was holding a hockey stick. And the ownership changed, and now it's something else. And I go, that's a missed opportunity right there. You screwed it up. So.
I don't know. I love minor league hockey and baseball
It's great. Yeah, minor league hockey and baseball is awesome.
Yeah,
it's cheap to get in, and you see young players playing their tails off to try to get to the next level. So.
We have the El Paso Chihuahuas. How would you like to be a Chihuahua?
Yes, the Chihuahuas. That's awesome.
Yeah, I went to a minor league game in Portland, Maine, and they have a little mini green monster.
Oh, I like that. But
cool.
A Chihuahua, an ankle biter? Like, they used to be the Diablos.
And what's the other one? The Amarillo Armadillos. Love that. Yeah. Minor league, they can kind of get out on the spectrum of finding some odd nicknames, and it's great. I love it.
Well, they normally do a poll when they bring one in, and that's how they had like the trash panda. My friend, he was pushing for that. Like, he wanted it so bad. And there was
I don't know why. You would think there would be, like, the pig fuckers would be in Arkansas, but I guess you probably couldn't pull that one off, could you?
That's a little.
Smithfield.
What do you put on the hat if they're called the pig fuckers?
Yeah, that's
a guy right behind the pig.
Yep.
Terrible
or
duck.
a pig behind a guy.
You're a terrible duck.
Oh
Um,
yeah, the big fucker. Yeah, I got it. I got you.
I mean, there's gonna end up being a hat one day with a guy behind a guy.
Did I ever
um,
tell you guys about the Xylo that there's this guy in Germany when I was in Army in Germany. I was in 3rd Infantry Division. We was up on top of this hill and you had to pull guard around this air defense site. And it had everything. Yeah. Well, anyway, so everything that the Xylo was always going on about dumbass hillbillies and Southerners and rednecks. And he was from like New Jersey or Boston. He had one of them used guys accents and all that shit. Well, there was cameras all around that air defense site, and when the Xylo ship was going on, the sergeant goes said, "Private Arthur, come over here and check this out." So I went over and checked it out, and I looked on the screen, and DeValo was screwing a sheep, right? And then, oh yeah, so I loved it because he gave me particular help because I really am a hillbilly. I mean, it's the fact I can't get around that. So he loved to talk
An
all that smack.
educated hillbilly.
How do we
Oh,
know
yeah.
Bob's stories would be rated R?
Oh yeah. So anyway, so the Xylo gets charged, and they court-martial him, and he's sent to Mannheim. And I guess who gets the detail to pack him to Mannheim is me, right? So they got him in there, and I got a couple other guys. Everybody's armed, and we got him in the Jeep. And I said, "You love him sheep, don't you, the Xylo?" You know.
Terrible.
Did anybody ever see the movie Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask, where Gene Wilder Wilder fell in love with a sheep, and then the sheep left, and at the end he was drinking a bottle of Woolite.
Oh my God.
some other notable minor league team names: the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Love that.
I like that.
There used to be the Jacksonville.
Was there a company backing that up? Somebody sponsoring or something?
No, it just
Bubba Gump.
Yeah, Bubba. The Albuquerque Isotopes, due to the nuclear history there in New Mexico.
Been there.
Little play also off of the Simpsons, the Springfield Isotopes. The Akron. They do have the same. Yes, yeah. The Akron Rubber Ducks, as we all know, the city of Akron was the home of rubber in the United States for years.
Oh, Goodyear's still there.
The Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Can't forget the Rumble Ponies in upstate New York. And then the where is it here? The Hartford Yard Goats. It's just a goat eating stuff. So yeah, I love the.
Don't they? Their mascot is on the field, like behind the field, eating grass.
I believe he is. Yeah, it's just a goat out there eating grass. So yeah, minor league baseball is fun. You know, if you get a chance, check out your local minor league team. They need some love and support too. I went out.
I have an update. So it looks like
Stephen Colbert has a special political update report here. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. It looks like the steroids are wearing off Biden at just about 10 o'clock Eastern time here.
Well, guys.
Other things we need real quick, Doug. I know you're getting ready to sign us off here, but real quick, I don't think we've had a show since the U.S. Open ended, so we got to give some quick thoughts on the U.S. Open.
Hell yeah.
I was happy for Bryson, and Sean and I had messaged about this briefly, but he transitioned really well from a villain to a good guy.
It's a real heel turn, WWE style, from going from bad guy to good guy.
In watching, live from the U.S. Open after the tournament and him talking, I mean, he just seemed like a real guy.
He's been at it for a while now with his YouTube series where he does all these really cool different kind of challenges. His most recent one was really good, where he dresses up in like 1920s garb and plays golf using like the really old clubs from the 20s. And like he even with a hickory shafted persimmon wood driver still just crushes the ball. And he's wearing, +4s with the suspenders and He's just done wonders with rebuilding, and I think maturity comes with it. Because if you remember, when he first started on tour, he was 22 years old, and he was a little kind of too cocky and
He's
said
a
some
little
things
shit.
that, he was a little shit. Yeah, Nikki's absolutely right. And now that he's 30, he's starting to get some life perspective and starting to understand that, you gotta, you gotta win the fans over. The fans are the lifeblood of the sport. And, what started in Kentucky with the PGA Championship kind of rolled into the U.S. Open in North Carolina. And to see him holding a trophy at the end was great. I did feel, it was weird. It was the, two-edged sword with the feeling great for Bryson and just feeling absolutely despondent and heartbreak for Rory, who's been, particularly in the last 4 years, so close to getting that fifth major, and it just, any which
Gonna
way it
happen.
can go wrong, it goes wrong for him.
But back to like the maturity and the cockiness, I don't know a golfer that didn't go through that starting on the tour at that age. They think they're larger than life, and then they have to be knocked down.
Scotty was never a jerk.
I would say Scotty Scheffler is not, it was never, but he basically married his high school sweetheart,
Yeah.
so, and he said in one of his post-round conferences that Meredith keeps him definitely grounded. He goes, I can bring every trophy in golf home, and I still got to take out the trash.
And most of these guys are kids that are getting attention they've never had.
But I definitely agree with Nikki's point. Yeah, you're the young gun, hot out of either college or the amateur ranks, and you win a tournament early in your career. You think you're the next Tiger Woods, and then reality hits real hard.
Oh
But
yeah.
even Tiger was that way before he was winning. He was cocky. I mean, he was winning, but not everything. And he was cocky, and he was all over the place. I mean, down to being in Augusta during Masters Week, he would have rather been in the bar than he would have been on the course. He got free, kind of. There.
I think Tiger's was he got some freedom, so he was trying to enjoy it,
And
because
then
prior to that,
4 years
his
later,
dad kept him on a very short
Oh
leash.
yeah. He became a better person after the scandal with his wife and all those women.
Well, and the injuries, those two kind of happened at the same time.
Yep.
And it definitely gave him a lot of perspective on life.
yeah, he definitely became humble. It can be all taken away really quick.
But so it was great to see Bryson win. The only thing I was kind of bummed with is, again, the archaic system that is the official world golf rankings, prevented Bryson from being on the U.S. Olympic team here coming up in August, and he should have been one of the four on that team. The four are going to be Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, last year's U.S. Open winner Wyndham Clark. He also won Pebble Beach earlier this year, and then Colin Morikawa. And I like Colin Morikawa, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't have like a significant win in like 3 years.
Yeah.
And so to me, his spot Bryson should be in that spot. Just
Well,
because
look at Koepka, a great 2-year run, but
I
really
would even have
nothing.
Koepka over Morikawa as well. Absolutely. Those two should have been ahead of Colin Morikawa. And it's like the OWGR is like the equivalent of how we all used to gripe about the old BCS computer rankings. We were like, how does this work? Like, how is this correct? This is out of
How is it
control.
possible?
Why is Florida number 2 ahead of Michigan? Yeah, I know.
No, because they were better
We're
than
awesome.
Michigan in 2006 and would have destroyed them just like they destroyed Ohio State.
Yeah, okay. No.
Especially wasn't Chad Henne the quarterback on that Michigan team? Oh, yeah.
He's the all-time leader in touchdowns and yardage.
And he would have got destroyed by Florida in that BCS championship game had they been there, just like Troy Smith of Ohio State did. But I mean, the most egregious one was Miami beating Florida State and Florida State somehow getting to go to the game against Oklahoma.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we all knew by the end of that year, Miami was the best team in the country on the field, and
Yep.
that little computer system screwed them. So
It sure changed Oklahoma's history, didn't it?
it really, because I don't think because that was an Orange Bowl game for the national title, if memory serves, and I think Oklahoma won that game like 13-2 or something like
14-2, 13 or 14-2. That's right.
Yeah,
It was 13-2.
I think Miami wins that game, and then they, the next year they validated it by running the table, but they took their pain out on poor Nikki's Gators in the Sugar Bowl. both in the stadium and on the street in the French Quarter, if memory serves.
We're not really good drunks.
Florida defensive lineman Alex Brown showed up with a nice shiner under his eye at one of the media sessions.
We like.
I've been meaning to ask Nikki, have you gotten any sleep in the past 3 or 4 weeks?
No. I was up last night like I had a baby every hour on the hour.
Well, Bob says you need to turn on Cincinnati Reds radio broadcast.
I'm going to take Ed's advice on that, and our Dr. Balls, and I'm going to do that. I can use probably the Giants or the Rangers right now. They would probably both put me to sleep. So,
but putting a bow on our golf discussion, now we have kind of a showdown to close the year in Scotland. We've got, Scotty won the Masters, Xander won the PGA, Bryson won the US. So, we're gonna see who can of those three can win, or are you taking the field? Somebody we haven't heard from yet this year.
I'm taking the field.
You're taking the field, okay? Anybody in the field? Anybody in the field you like, Nikki?
There's a few, but I have to watch day one. That course, if you don't, it changes with the day.
Troon is tough on the west coast of Scotland for sure.
It just depends on who can hold up, and where the wind is. That's a bad course.
And this is next week?
It's in July.
Yeah.
July.
Okay. So is there any sports next week?
Next week? Well, yeah, kind of.
The Reds.
Anything worthy of an episode, or do we go ahead and do the Heisman?
Definitely not. We'll do Heisman, but next week it'll come with an asterisk, and I think we can all be upset about it. Every year we celebrate, the 4th of July by tuning into the corner of Stillwell and Surf to see who can eat the most hot dogs.
Goodness.
And our guy is banned this year because he signed a deal with a rival hot dog company.
But they gave him a chance to redeem himself, and I haven't heard if he did yet.
No. So what he's going to do a head-to-head showdown against Kobayashi in, I think, August or September.
Okay.
So it's a standalone, just them head-to-head.
That's not fun. This is like an American tradition on the floor.
So Major League Eating, who runs it, is sponsored by Nathan's Hot Dogs, and Chestnut signed with some other hot dog company, and so
Hebrew National.
No, it's one of them new vegan hot dog companies, or
I think we ought to run down a competition of the best hot dog, right? Like you could dominate Hebrew National, Nathan's, fucking Cons, Eckrich, Big Red Smokies.
Vienna Beef.
Well, hopefully whoever interviews the winner will just ask them, what's it like to win the title when Jordan's playing baseball?
Yeah, I mean, this champion at the corner of Stillwell and Surf on Coney Island will have an asterisk like the Michigan Wolverines did for their championship this year.
They should set up for the following weekend to do
Ed, you set yourself up for that.
Against.
That was cold. I'll be playing Hail to the Victors as soon as the show's over.
Well, guys, I will run the top 20 teams of the 1990s next week, the full production of it. And I guess we can record this Heisman thing.
I think Sunday night we need to do our Heisman show. Not live necessarily, but if you want to record it, and then you can run it. And then I think the next thing we need to start talking about doing our own conference predictions for the upcoming season. So because media days are coming, and they're coming quick. I think the SEC is first out of the gate, right down in Destin. I think they were saying that the other day.
Yep.
And it's the expanded SEC. As of 1 July, which will be here in a couple of days, the new SEC starts. Oklahoma and Texas will be full-fledged members.
Yep, they got their logos on the field.
So.
All right, guys. So we just tonight we put an end to smacking off the vacation with a new episode. And I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yes.
Great show, everyone. Great talking to y'all.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Later.
Thank you for supporting Smacking Off the podcast on the X's and O's network. Be sure to keep up with our scheduled live casts and other presentations on Facebook at Smackologists or at Smacking Off, and on our YouTube channel at Smacking Off the Podcast.